Hello, Speed Gaming viewers. Welcome to our Link to the Past Randomizer daily race. We're going to be featuring one of our tournament modes for our main tournament that's coming up. Inverted keys will be inverted, and we're going to have all the keys shuffled around and an extra little quirk. And we're going to start with a starting flute, which will open up some interesting early routing possibilities, like being able to go directly up the mountain or over to the Eastern Dark World area in Sphere 1. It'll makes for some interesting decisions to make. On your microphone today, I'm Adler. I'm going to take you through this whole race. We've got Vex Stouffer on the left and Thor on the right, two runners who are vying to qualify for the main tournament. We have just a few qualifier races left before we get all those results locked in. And we have two trackers also keeping up with these keys today, Arteril and Made Walkherd. Big thanks to them. Shout outs to tracking keys, because it's often it's easy to lose track of stuff. And there's text boxes you got to catch a glimpse of what a particular key is real fast. So we'll be waiting on these runners to get going in just a moment here. And here we go. There's a heart piece in the chest and house. Imagine that. I got Telethar immediately taking that flute option, going straight over the Mire area, glimpsing the Mire medallion, which is going to be Ether today. Vex Stouffer is going for a pretty common opener for inverteds to try to get one kill and then do a tree pull there and see if your tier 1 is anything good, which it isn't. It's just a green rupee, so you're going to get 4 rupees at most for that. Not particularly useful. Vex is going to do this. Telethar was going to try to get into Mire Shed here, but then got eaten by the bird. He's going to take another shot at that. And there's some immediate payoffs. Again, Sphere 1 has been a bit expanded by this starting flute, and we've got a glove and Mire Shed right off the bat. And a Compass of Thieves Town. Compasses and maps. Well, maps will be nice for having to locate the dungeons you actually want to complete. Compasses, we're not dealing with any boss shuffle or anything, so those won't be too useful in this particular mode. Rex is trying really hard to get a free bomb from the rock outside the house, which functions and inverted exactly like it does in open or standard in the light world. Not getting any good luck there. And Telethar started on Thieves Town there, finds our first pod small in the first chest. We'll be looking to those pod smalls will be interesting to see how early they pop up and how many we get, because 6 keys of that dungeon, and it has a few different kind of thresholds of how many keys you have unlocking, how many checks logically in that dungeon. And of course, being keys in pod, we'll expect to see a lot of that logic generally ignored. Runners will get around pod however they please. You are willing to invest the time, you can full clear that dungeon with only using like 4 small keys. It's you can go on a pretty budget and get everything in that dungeon. And we've got early boots on Catfish. Very interesting. It's another one of those checks that's in Sphere 1. Vex making an interesting play, like all the way up to Catfish, which is actually not too bad because you can flute to 2, and it's a decent little walk. Actually, no, I'm sorry, that's not Sphere 1 because of the glove, but Sphere 2, close enough. Yeah, early boots are really nice to have. Of course, being key sanity, we do not find the Thieves' big key in the front. We'll only be able to get the front 4 checks and then just kind of bail out. And we get the map actually in Thieves Town, so you see in the upper left, we do get the pop-up that has a little letter C there. That does tell us it is a crystal dungeon. We don't know whether it's the red crystal or just one of the 5 normal ones, but we do know that it's an objective dungeon. And Telethar finds a vanilla big 300 in the brewery. You get a moment full of here. Oh, look, a big key, but it's actually Ice Palace. Not as exciting. And Telethar is going to try to get a couple lucky bombs here out of this one bush. This bush outside a brewery is a 50-50 chance to get a bomb when you break it or lift it. Gets a couple lucky bombs, and we'll proceed from there. This rock right here, don't forget that rock, actually. That's an easy rock to forget. That, if you have boots, 100%. One bomb every time. And considering inverted, you can start at Dark Chapel. That's really a really nice, convenient spot to get some early guaranteed bombs. Take a little bit of time because you're getting them one at a time, but you can still get a guaranteed there. Lothar has found a big key at Dig Game. That is the Turtle Rock big key. The top entrance of TR is a little more accessible than usual. Again, with the starting flute, we can actually walk all the way over there. Assuming we get like Samaria and a sword and the medallion to open it, TR could just be open. We'll see. We haven't seen Hype Cave yet. There's a bunch of stuff there we still have yet to get. Somebody's got a small key to Skullwoods for us. The logic wants you to have all those, but that's not terribly exciting. You know, one's nice to have from outside, but you don't really need much more than one extra to really route the dungeon effectively. All right, Vex is going to get into Skullwoods while Telethar looks at Spike Cave. Got compass on one side, a heart piece on the other, another heart piece. 4 compasses. Oh, there's a fire rod. That's a good early find. That could be a good early find. You might not want the fire rod super early and inverted, though, because that could be pointing towards a very early Mothula fight. And Vex will do what he can to get through the Gibdo room here in the middle of Skullwoods. And just have to, without really any good weaponry, you have to kind of kite him around as best he can and hope you get some good RNG. Even get him stuck up on that wall, so if they can get stuck up there, you can have some time to move the statue. You got one of them stuck there. Ooh, look up. Yeah, this room's terrible without a way to stun them or kill them. But he's got through it with little incident. And then Telethar is going to be also following him right into Skullwoods as well. Finds a bomb pack in the middle. Since it's key sanity, every check in every dungeon could potentially be a useful item. So there's a Skullwoods has a total of 8 checks in it that could be potentially something. Which is a big upgrade from its normal 2. Okay, and we've got a Turtle Rock small key in the pits and beetles room in Skull below Pot Prison. And then our heart piece in Pinball. Yes, there's one of those Turtle Rock keys, which you gotta, when you start seeing TR keys early on. We do have a Fire Rod as well. There's some potential for some early loot in TR, again, if we get the requirements to actually get into the dungeon. Ooh, I missed that Moon Pearl in Pot Prison. Good. That, early Pearl means you might just get some early Dark World, especially with the glove right off the bat. All we need at this point is a hammer or a second glove, and we can get right into Light World and start getting, like, all the loot that's on offer in Kakariko and whatnot. We might have a pretty mundane seed in terms of how inverted plays out. Sometimes you just get really early light world access, and then it's not much for the early start of inverted, which is where a lot of the spice of the mode comes from, is dealing with the really early dark world challenges. Even the enemies here, like these guys hit for 2 hearts if you touch them in Green Mill. It's very dangerous, even just navigating the overworld in Dark World so early. We haven't seen really anything for health yet. Telethar has managed to accumulate 4 heart pieces to actually make a 4th heart. No big hearts yet so far. That's kind of another consequence of inverted being as it is. The opening sphere is a little bit smaller than the light world. There's not as much you can access right off the bat with no items, so the logic does have to put a certain amount of progression early on. That kind of takes up spots where, like in the light world, you could normally see more hearts and stuff pop up. So it just adds kind of to the general difficulty of inverted. We've got the desert big key in the bridge chest in the back of Skull. And flippers in chess game. I imagine Telethar didn't get to that for lack of the rupees, but we'll probably headed. Yeah, it looks like headed right back there to get that. Flippers. We have access to East Dark World already, but if we didn't have a flute, that would get us over there. That could also be pointing us at Ice Palace. Ice Palace does not require a rock to lift, and with the Fire Rod, actually. Ice Palace is now just open, and Telethar's going for it. Okay, so this is a... Yep, this is a... Inverted does this sometimes. You've got a pretty early dip into Ice Palace, and it just gives you a Fire Rod. That's the other thing you worry about. Like, oh man, what about Ice? You can't necessarily get a lot in this dungeon. Only about half of it is even logically accessible. But we'll see what Telethar comes up with. Well, Vex is on his way, working south from Village over towards the Hype Cave area. Firerod's a decent weapon for the whatever those pen gators. Does take 2 hits to kill them though, so it's not the best weapon. You have to be really careful with your magic usage. Try to get them grouped up for many splashes as possible. It helps with their dropping some magic too. X has got his Fire Rod now. We'll have to see if he makes the same jump over to Ice or decides to go anywhere else. In this kind of situation here, it would not be surprising to see Telethar not do the Ice Palace bomb jump, both for the fact that it's more difficult without a sword, and that you don't have as much benefit from doing it when you don't have the tools to clear the rest of the dungeon, namely the hammer in this case. Without the hammer, there's just less you can do. So it's reasonable to just kind of stay in logic, get the checks that you can, and then just have an easier time of getting over to those checks. And these berries are being terrible. Look, I'm just blockading the way through. Yeah, Telethar's just going to go straight for it without flipping the switch. Vex is going to meanwhile get over to Pyramid, and we'll see what item we have. That's just a heart piece. Okay. Probably takes it anyway. Yeah, health is pretty scarce right now, so we'll take what we can get. And also up the mountain, as I was about to wonder, like, when does one of our runners get to the mountain first? And Vex will be the first one up there. Good bomb usage from Telethar, taking all the Pengators out in 2 bombs. They die to bombs in 1 hit, so if you have a good supply of bombs and kind of a good way to place a couple bombs and destroy the whole room of them, that can be a very good way to deal with Ice Palace early on. Big 20 in the Freezor chest. Oh, yeah, I was going to try to do the bomb jump to Ice Tea, and just, you see, that's the tough part about not having a sword for those. Yeah, the little frustration swing there. Yeah, without having a sword for to get the ledge spins, it makes bomb jumps a lot tougher. I slide over. That was a very good time through the pot room there. Usually that anti-fairy is terrible and will bump you no matter where you go. Telethar got through it just fine. Vex server is getting through. Oh, there's a sword in Ice Tea. Oh, that actually could be. If we see a lamp, that could be light world access actually. The Ragnim's tower. We'll see. And Vex has finally come out of the the dark old man rescue cave. Had a bit of trouble in there. Fell in the holes a couple times, but got through it. It's tough to navigate when you don't have much to indicate where you are. We're just going to jump back across here, and we do have that ice big key, so we can get the big chest here. That's a good point from chat. That does put Moth in logic. Yeah, because there's some key logic there, but in terms of the item logic, yeah, Mothula is accessible with Fire Rod and a sword. The game will not expect you to go back there without having all 3 Skullwood small keys, but accessible, quote unquote. Ooh, wow, that was close. Good thing you have iframes while you're falling off the cliff, otherwise Vex would have gotten bopped. Alright, it's just a big 20 on the old man rescue. There's not a lot we can do on the mountain here. We don't have access to East Mountain by way of like Hammer Mirror or Hookshot, so we're confined to just the checks on the old man and whatever turns up in Spec Rock Cave here. And Telethar is going to go for the look into Aga Tower. There's one check in logic here, and if you feel like going for the second one in the Dark Maze, you can go for it. We saw a bottle also on top of Spec Rock, loaded with green for us. Not accessible just yet. We can get that once we have access to the Hera area, because you can just walk down and grab that. There's some terrain changes in inverted that just make that accessible, because you can't mirror to it in inverted. So once you're on the light side, you just walk in and grab it. Lothar finds nothing of importance in the first check of Aga Tower. It's going to head over to the East Mountain. We're going to play Dodge the Lionel. The best trick you can do here is try to take one of the projectiles and get through while you have some iframes, because don't touch the Lionel if you can help it. The projectiles do significantly less damage than actually making contact damage with them. Vex is going to have a fun time of trying to get bombs to land on these guards here. They're very fast. Okay, got it handled. Ooh, didn't quite get there in time. Super Bunny, by the way, we've got. Ooh, there's one of our Castle Tower small keys. That puts the second check into logic, assuming we have the lamp at some point. Telethar is done with the mountain for now. Nothing else to really get. And Vex will do probably the correct move here of doing a health reset off of these guards here to get the hearts back, so that he can also go get through the Lionels without just taking an immediate death on them. Without having a couple hearts to spare, like you're not getting across the Lionel bridge without taking at least one projectile. So you need to be able to survive that at least. And Telethar is going back up the mountain here, assumedly to possibly pop into Light World and do the same checks that Vex has already seen. We'll see. Might also be going for that second check in Aga Tower with the key. Yeah, it's going to go for it. We don't have a lamp yet, so the Dark Room is not in logic, but that's not going to stop Telethar from going for it. And with a sword, it's not too bad to get, as long as you're familiar with the layout of the room at least. Never forget that full magic refill in Super Bunny either. With early weaponry being like Fire Rod, primarily in Vex's side, hasn't even found the sword yet. That can be a very good thing. Just have access to magic refills. And with Fire Rod, you can light these torches, but again, the first room does not have torches in it, so this is not logical with the Fire Rod, and it's just a blue rupee. All right. Ooh, there's a hammer and bonk shot. That's our Light World access. So those boots are paying off, actually. Telethar is at some point have to get over to Catfish and get the boots, and then realize there's one check on the mountain suddenly opened up in Hookshot Cave, the one you can bonk to. That's going to get Light World access, which in Inverted is kind of a big deal. You want to get Light World as soon as possible, because there's a lot more stuff you can get from it. And it means you don't have to do as much early Dark World dungeon digging, which can be very tough to do on very low health like this. Vex started with the portal by house, and we'll see. Let's go ahead and route to the south first. Telethar is now floating over to 5. Might be looking at a pod entry, actually. This is a soggy map at the flooded treasure check here. It's going to be a map of Skullwoods. I don't. Yeah, we didn't know it. We didn't know what that dungeon is yet. So maps are good to have because again, we need to get all 7 crystals, and without not having the maps, we do not know what the dungeon prizes are. As we saw earlier with collecting the map of Thieves while we were in it, gave us the indicator. And if you check your map, of course, you'll see the indicators just like normal. Next is giving us a peek at Desert Ledge. We've got a small key there of some description. We'll have to wait and see what that actually turns up to be. Another small key in Checkerboard, which is the Desert Small. Desert is an interesting dungeon in Inverted because you can only access it with the book. Oh, and there's actually our first available bottle in the shooter room in Pod. Telethar has found that. Sadly, that did not come preloaded with a potion, just a bee in it. So you can't just get an easy access to the bow side of Pod. We do have that one small key, though, which does make the front accessible. You can get to the Stalfos basement check as well as the arena bridge. So there's a couple more we can get here with that one key. Another 300. You like to see some early money. Especially in Dark World, you have some things you have to pay for. You need to pay 80 for dig game, 30 for chess game, 110 to enter pod. Having a couple 300s already has been really nice for the not having to farm for any. Otherwise, some inverted seeds you get almost no money, and you have to farm for like 20 rupees just so you can play archery to afford just the basic opening checks. It never feels good. All right, so that's all we've got in pod. Not much really to gain. And you could theoretically do some mimic clipping over to the bow side, but we're not worried about that just yet. Vex is doing a little bit of money grinding here at the 50 rupee cave between the dam area and desert. I think Telthar's forgotten that they could have floated too. They floated to 8 and then did the whirlpool up to the 2 spot here. Yeah, presumably Vex is going to make sure he's got enough money for Zora. Maybe planning on running east from here and doing the rest of the South Shore checks, and then incorporating a water walk up into the Zora area. And Telethar is about to get his boots. A little bit of slashing there. Might realize he's down to potentially just this. And there's the news. Xoffer's getting into Mini Moldworm Cave now. Bit tricky without a sword. Still has yet to have to find his own sword first, or his own first sword. Pardon me. Has actually a reasonable time with hammering Mini Moldworms. Not too bad. Usually they're terrible with trying to hit him with just a hammer. Right, we got a small key to another pod small. And just a whole lot of stuff otherwise. Not too much exciting there. The second pod small doesn't really do much compared to the first one. The thresholds for unlocking things logically in pod are 1, 4, and 6 keys. Mechanically, that does let you go all the way to the back of pod and get such checks as the rupee basement and the turtle room. And if you feel like doing a hammer jump over to the dark maze, you can get those as well. We're now going to look at Ice Rod Cave. Another small key to... Ooh, the castle small. That could... We've already got a glove, so that's not a real big deal, but an inverted, you could be expected to walk all the way through castle. Inverted particular, you can expect all the way through castle if you don't have a glove yet, just to get the items in the back. Castle's an interesting dungeon route in inverted, because you can't just can't as easily access the northern area because of having to start in the Dark World. So you may see the complete decision to route the entirety of Castle just front to back, and the key will assist with that. We've got a map there on the Lake Hylia Island. You might want that, but also you're not going to drop off your water walk for that. So. He's made the most of the water walk. We can do the normal swimming for the rest of it. Meanwhile, Telethar has opted to go fight Amothula. Bit of a spicy fight on 4 hearts, green mail, 1 sword, out of magic for the fire rod. You gonna pull it out? Gonna clutch it? Come on. Vexover comes up with a pair of big 20s in Waterfall. Nothing special there. Telethar still working on Moth. Really patient fight here. Ooh, okay, we're still okay. Gotta be close to dead now. Oh, takes us 1 step from the spike. Ooh, oh no! Oh, got boxed in by those spikes. Had nowhere to go. Oh, that was really unfortunate. Is decided that's enough for now. We'll have to even figure out how to get magic for it. Yeah. And just a compass on Zora, nothing exciting there. And I missed ledge, but Vexover says I didn't. I looked at ledge. I don't want what's there. It's nothing important. So we are out of the Zora area. Starting at the mountain in inverted is even faster to flute than it is in the light world because you're literally just out of the cave on spawn, so you can just flute immediately. Pretty fast. Telthar's going up here now to get the bonk check in Hookshot Cave. Going to get the news that, yep, those boots were very early required. And there's that hammer. Vex is once again started at the house portal and is going to head west this time. Kind of take a route that leads all the way over into Kakariko. And Telthar's opted to go just flute to 3 and probably just going to use the portal here and just start at Kak. Oh, you don't have both gloves, just one. Gotta walk around. Nothing exciting there in Cave 45. Thankfully, with boots and a sword, you can get through this line of bushes pretty easily. Telethar we'll be meeting in the middle here. Actually, Telethar's going to start up north, get the woods checks, and work into Kakariko, and Vex will be coming from the south. We'll see what's at library here. Actually, Telethar's not going to get the woods checks. Small key on library. It'll be fine. Another pod small. Nope, that's one of our GT small keys. All right, and this begins our pincer attack on the contents of Kakariko Village. A hookshot in the well, very good start. That gives us the rest of Hookshot Cave accessible now. Lumio on the back of Tavern, and a full heart in the back of the well. Another full heart. 2 1/4 hearts in Cackwell. Very nice, shoring up the amount of health we have not had so far. In Chicken Hut, we've got a pod small. There's the one. I think that's 3 we've seen now so far. And then we'll get the rest of our information here. Very efficient work of these 2 runners clearing Kakariko at the opposite ends for us. And blindside out, not a whole lot in the front 4. We'll see if the back chest has anything important. Kate. That could be required. We haven't seen Bumper Ledge yet. I don't know. I don't know if either of these guys looked at Bumper Ledge yet, so there might be something there. Ten-pack arrows on Bottle Vendor. Yep. Tell them making Goosey that hook shot to get little super speed runs through Kakariko. Got his Pod Small and Chicken Hut there. Presumably Teleflar will probably head out south from Kakariko and in kind of normal fashion. Ooh, Telethar does have that bottle, true, actually. Yeah. X hasn't come into the front of pod to get this. Is this some 10-pack arrows? Okay, nothing exciting there. Telethar's got his armor upgrade from the back of Tavern. We're looking at 7 hearts blue, or 6 hearts blue. 6 or 7. Yeah, pretty nice early defense now that you've braved the dangers of early inverted for at least a bit. It wasn't too bad, though. We got light world access early enough. We didn't have to do really heavy dungeon diving. Next up in the woods here, got a shield in the hideout drop. Opts to take it, whether that was by choice or just automatically touching the item. There's our. I'm guessing that our tier 2 treeple most likely is a 80 rupee, not bad. And another 300 at the mushroom spot. Vex is like, nah, I've had enough. I've already paid for Zora. I'm gonna need more money. We'll get a peek at Lumberjack now. Pretty good move considering boots are pretty early. Ooh, there's a sword on Lumberjack ledge. Well then. Vex does not like to see that imaginably considering that's the first sword he's seen all game. Yeah, when you don't have a sword but you got boots, you really miss the ability to just dash through enemies. Probably one of the worst parts of swordless is the fact that you just cannot dash directly through enemies. You have to navigate around them all the time. There's that 300 he skipped in Bach Rocks. He got that 300 rupees anyway. Yes, I think Vex is going to go ahead and take the Sank item first. Okay. I figured maybe he'd go drop to the back 3 and then get the Sank item and then continue out from there, but we'll just see what's here. Heart piece. Telthor's cleaning up Mini Moldrum Cave, got the pod small there. Yeah, you're right. Vex does have the small key, so he can go back to front. That's true. Well, he can go to Dark Cross. He can't go all the way to the front because the door prevents you from going to the front. But yeah, you can get to Dark Cross at least. There's our Hera big in Graveyard Ledge. Hera is a dungeon that's typically later in accessibility in inverted because of the fact that you have to be able to navigate the entire light mountain to get to it. Pack of Escape has a bomb pack, 100 rupees, and a compass. And is not interested in walking to Dark Cross, says, I'm good for now. Telethar just jumped straight in the water, not setting up a water walk of any sort. And we're going to get that map. He wants that map, yeah. We're curious what that map is. They help out with telling you which dungeons to complete. As a map of Hera. Okay. Next, I'm gonna peek out. There's a small key on Bumper Ledge. All right, so that cape could be important here. Let's see what that is. Or no, we won't actually. So, inverted. That is the normal cave that you climb up Death Mountain. For the most part, the caves are the same, but there's a little switch between light and dark worlds. The Bumper Cave, that cave is actually in the light world, and you have to descend. You have to do it in light world like normally. You ascend from the lower part, and then you have to mirror to Bumper Ledge. And then the Death Mountain Descent Cave is actually I forgot what happened in Death Mountain Descent. It's somewhere else. I'm actually kind of drawing a blank there. But yeah, the Old Man Ascent Cave is kind of normal there. All right, Vex is going to take his hook shot and going to go ahead and go over to East Light Mountain, get us some look at the Paradox and what's over here. We got a bunch more items coming. And bombs and there's the Hera small key and Paradox lower. Or upper. It's one of the two. The Paradox 2, that's where the small key is. What's best to throw at the switch? Just use a bomb, sure. You got a map of Turtle Rock, all right. And that's all that can really be spoken for there. A map of TR and a Hera small key. So not much exciting in Paradox here. A little more to go on the mountain still, though. The floating island item is just accessible. From up top, you'll see that one of the terrain changes for inverted is that there's just now a bridge. You can just walk across and get it. And with Hammer, Vex does have the option of going all the way over to Hera as well. Anything cool here? Ooh, hello Samaria on the floating island. And accessing Mimic Ledge is as simple as just dropping down the ledge here, considering you can't mirror to it. Yeah, the East Mountain in particular is one of the kind of biggest areas of changes in inverted that you really got to be on top of and be aware of all the things that have been changed there. The mirror becomes especially important because the game will most likely expect you to mirror into the different entrances of Turtle Rock, which means your TR key layouts are a lot more kind of scrambled than you typically see of TR in like open mode. The big key is not necessarily going to be in the top area. There's just a good chance it's on Laser Bridge, you know. Lothar has spotted that sword on the Lumberjack Ledge, which for them is, of course, the Master Sword. And Vex is going to go ahead and head over to here. I'm going to grab that bottle. That's his first bottle. Ooh, oh, okay. Terrain. It's only slightly janky. All right, grabs that bottle and into here we go. And Telethar is also taking care of the North Light World checks with Grave Ledge and presumably the drop into back of Castle. Basement cage there is just a 10-pack of arrows. We do have hookshot and boots, so we have the option of going very fast up to the top of Hera. Vex will set up the super speed here. Yep. That heart's gonna get his hook. Yeah. Saw that coming. Gonna mess up your first successful attempt. Yeah. There you go. Only a few tries to get in. We do have the keys for Hera, so we can see what is in the big chest. There's also a small key. Yeah, Ice Palace. Okay. Compass is a compass of the desert, almost. Yeah, so that is the question: is does Vex do the coffee break chest after dealing with Moldorm up here? That is an option you can take if you want to take the time for it. You have the fire rod; you can get it, which is a time-consuming check. It is also if you're doing that, it's presumably the last thing you do on the mountain because otherwise you have to spend extra time walking out of there or doing a death warp. So it's a time-consuming check without having the mirror in particular. All right, Moldrum, what you got? A small key to Castle Tower. There's both of those, and that's kind of Castle Tower is kind of a moot point at this point. You tend to see inverted require Aghanim climb for dark for world access more often, but we got it already through our items, so we won't be seeing any. Oh no, there's that sword. It's a sword on lumberjack though. I mean, it's probably not the only sword that's accessible, right? There can't be two sword locked swords, right? Probably not. We probably don't see that. Give it like an hour or so. I'll be climbing AT for that sword. I'll be eating my words. Maybe it won't even that long. We'll see. I mean, Vex has no swords, of course. Telethar does have the one that we got from Ice Tea Room in Ice Palace. And Ice Rod is in the Uncle chest. Yeah, interesting find there. We don't know if TR is required just yet, but that's good to have for later should we have to deal with trying it. Pretty easy check to make also. That's not going to be much of an Ice Rod hunt, if any. All right, Vex has opted to do a coffee break, and we're going to get a moment to look at what this check is. 50 rupees. Well, we've got our fourth pod small in the map chest of Hyrule Castle. I believe Vex still has Spiral Cave to do, so he will opt to walk out of the basement of Hera. Second chest in the front. That's the boomerang chest. Has just 50 more rupees. And Telethar, of course, having the key is just like I'm not even gonna. I'm not. I can. You can leave that key drop there and save yourself a little bit of time not getting it because you don't need it. Already been to the back. You don't need to navigate the entire back to get to the secret room items. Fire Rod makes very short work of the ball and chain guard. The cell chest contains a mushroom. We'll have to wait and see if that is worth it. Potion Shop is a bit more of a task to access in the light world, considering you can't just flute to two, and there are no portals that are relatively close to that area. The best way would tend to be taking the portal by house and then doing the jump into the whirlpool there. Vex is out of Spiral Cave, and it's going to go ahead and flute to 8. Looks like he's probably going for the Ice Palace dip. Yeah, Vex can do more of Ice Palace here, having the hammer than Telethar could. We've got even Samaria. Vex can kind of just do this whole dungeon. So he'll be getting his sword from Ice Tea in a little bit, and we'll get some more information on what else is in Ice Palace. Telethar has found a map of Ice Palace. Well, there you go. That was in Dark Cross, yeah. So not super important getting into Dark Cross, but that map might be helpful. Ooh, almost hit the bomb. There's a little strat you can do with that first room there. If you drop 2 bombs in the right spot and then like kind of throw one to the left, you can get all 6 of those pen gators. Gets 5 of them. And that room's not hard to clean up once you have hook shot too. Hook shot 1 kills the pen gators, so it's very convenient. And Vex is going to do our little favorite trick called Icebreaker here in Ice Palace. Very nicely done too. Very smooth. There's a shield in the big key chest. And Telethar's opted to do this mushroom check immediately from a saving quit. I like this. Get a small key of the mushroom, which is Ganon's Tower small. Okay. And Vex, yeah, Vex got that potion up top on the from Spec Rock, which was preloaded with green, which may be very, very helpful here in Ice Palace. There's our 5th Plodsmall, I believe we spotted in the Spike Room in Ice. Yeah, Vex having Samaria, having all the tools for Ice makes this a very nice trick in the dungeon. Even has an extra key, so you can go take the ideal path towards Ice Tea. Telethar is doing the Old Man Rescue. Yeah, where he is. That's his sword now from Ice Tea. There's a momentary check that make sure he has the Ice Palace big key, which he does. So he can do the full clear. He'd have a very hard time getting to the boss of Ice Palace if he didn't have the big key actually, because he didn't put the switch up top. A little hook shot for the block to get your bomb pack from the big chest. And you need to grab that small key from the pot room. Correct. We'll see how this cold fair fight goes in a moment here. The berries are being terrible. Yep. They're in the wall, and you can't deal with them very easily. Their favorite trick is to go up into the wall after you split them. Ooh. Berries are in the magic pack, actually, so be careful with that freeze orb, please. Okay. Nice full refill for dropping into Gold Stair, though. Very nice. I think he would have had enough from the small pickups there anyway, but it's nice to know that if you somehow have an issue on Cold Stair here and something happens, you could make another attempt at this. He does also have that green potion too. He has the capability of using that to get a lot more damage here, which he will take. Some good splashes. We missed that last shot. Probably switch to hammer for here. Yeah. Hammer and spins just to kind of close this fight out. Use a little sword extension. There you go. Nicely done. And gets a bomb pack for his troubles. And Ice is a crystal. There we go. Again, we don't know whether that's a red crystal. But we do have a second crystal on the board for Vex. Yeah, we'd have to. We had a very quick menu check on Vex's side. Like he. Oh, okay. We've got map check. Thieves and Skull are both crystals with a red on TR. There we go. So far, the Dark World has had 5 crystals for us, or 4. Sorry. There's a decent chance that the Vex already has the other red. We have to see if maybe he menus again and gives us a look at it. And while Telethar is now working on his trip into the Tower of Hera, pretty much the same as Vex did earlier, with the exact same equipment for it. Is going to do the basement straight off. Okay. If you're gonna do it, you may as well. I think if you're gonna do Hera basement, this is actually like the ideal time to do it because you're gonna walk out of here and be right by the pot just to do Hera pot right then. So, yeah, it seems like a good time to do it. And now Vex will head into the back of Skull Woods. And we do see from the indicator that Skull Woods is a crystal dungeon, so this one is also needed. We got the map check from a little bit ago too. So. We don't know what Moth has yet from that fight from Telethar almost getting there earlier. We'll have to see what Moth actually drops on Vex's side. Telethar looks like taking a Death Warp out of the basement there. Probably a little bit faster than walking out, yeah. And is opting to do a bomb setup here for the Hera pot. He's got it, no problem. Vex makes very short work of Mothula having the hammer. Very clean fight. And a bomb pack. Thus continues the tradition of our bosses dropping bombs for us. We've had at least 2 of those so far. And that is a 3rd crystal on the board for Vex. Really making a decent pace of getting dungeon prizes so far here. Re-enter for the bridge chest, which I believe was a big key of some variety. Yeah, desert big key. Desert big key, I believe it was. Yeah, we won't be seeing use of that until we've got a book in our inventory, because it's the only way to get into desert. And Telethar is taking care of the Moldorm, no problem. 3 hammer hits makes it a relatively clean fight. And he's got his first crystal on the board. He will also scoot over here, of course, and take care of Spiral Cave. Kind of the same sort of cleanup route. Once you have a hammer, you take care of Hera, and then you can end. Isn't on the Mimic Cave either? Yeah, that one too. Light side of mountain, you have to do two drops of the ledges to completely clean up the area. Next is having a moment of indecision. Not sure where to go. Where you want to go next? Think about me going to the portal for Light World. I'm like, no, I'm gonna flute to forward instead. Okay. What is next? He might be doing front of castle, maybe. We haven't seen anything of the. Oh, actually, going to get the check on the red crystals. So we'll get our information here. Yeah. They are TR and Pod. Pod's the other red crystal. Okay. We also haven't seen anyone go over to the eastern area just yet. We've got several checks waiting to be found over there, as well as potentially some information off the Hosrula. Tell us where the green pendant is, which is which narrows out, rules out, sorry, one dungeon that we know we don't have to do. Assuming there's nothing on the green pendant itself. He, of course, has that 10 arrow pack. Now Telethar is making his way back into Ice Palace for the the cleanup trip. Yeah, we're actually very close to having our crystal knowledge. We've had some pretty good, fortunate maps that we've picked up so far. Map being shuffled, you often need a bit of luck to actually get maps that are useful. There are a couple maps in the pool that are not helpful at all, like the GT and the castle maps, and you get those, and you're like, oh, thanks, game. And then sometimes you get a map from a dungeon you've already cleared, so you don't know it doesn't help you at all. But we have pretty good knowledge so far. They're having a little bit of trouble with the icebreaker. Gets through it. There you go. As his first shield. And Vex will have his ice rod in a moment here. We haven't seen much for Turtle Rock. We were talking about Turtle Rock earlier, and we might see some early access to it, but we haven't seen any medallions just yet, and we only have one small key for TR so far, so that's kind of not as interesting of a prospect just yet. And these guys are going to do things Eater Runner has done also. I'm waiting for more information, or waiting for someone to go to the eastern area and see what's over there. Yeah, there's a lot to do once you have Light World access, though. There's just so much that you have to do. It's exactly the same as the start of an open or start of an open seed, where you have a bunch of different places in the Light World you can go. And you eventually have to get to most of them. Well, they're making a quick work of their second trip into ice, already down to drop into the cold stair room. I believe Telethar also purchased a potion of some description, probably a blue, when they were doing the mushroom check. I do believe they have some safety available. Up for a few hammer hits. Ooh, no. That just happened really fast. Jeez. Vex is damaging down off of the fallen chain guard here to get prepared for a death warp. Don't die on the ball and chain guard, please. Please. There you go. Gets his mushroom. Now Vex having death warp, we'll go ahead and get that map from Dark Cross. Not a map that'll be useful to him, because he's already cleared Ice Palace. But we'll then know at least that castle is done. Nothing more to find. Where are our other swords? Hey, it's possible that we have two sword lock swords. It's kind of like Plando territory, but you could see both tablets having a sword on them, which would be really mean. I'll be surprised if we have to, legitimately really surprised if we have to get that sword off of Lumberjack Ledge for progression. Elithar down here going to drop into the cold stair room once again, and we'll have another go at killing this boss. Less safety available, unfortunately, this time, so you'll have to be really careful with this attempt. Well, Vex has opted to flute to 5 and to Light World, and we're going to get a peek at what's at the eastern area at long last. Telethor's doing quite well on this attempt here. Blue Mail reduces that hit damage to 3 instead of 4 hearts on contact with the puffs. Skullwood Small, a big key to Dark Palace, and a heart in Saw's Closet. I missed the green pendant text there because I was really interested in this Telethar Coldstare fight here, and he gets the fight done, no problem. Green pendant was Meyer. Okay. It does not get us all of our crystal knowledge, but it puts us just a little bit closer to having full dungeon knowledge. Meyer's a pretty accessible dungeon in this mode too, considering the early flute gets you into the Meyer area very easily. We don't have a way to get into Meyer though. We're still missing all of our medallions, so we know it takes an ether. We just have yet to find it. Next is doing that mushroom check now, getting his small key to Ganon's tower. We'll have to climb that eventually. And unlike the tournament key sanity, the open key sanity mode, we do not have any special rules for the Ganon's Tower big key. It can just be anywhere. It's not guaranteed to be in the tower. So at some point, we'll have to find that as well. What's the next heading for now? Is this Hookshot Cave? We haven't seen this yet. And Telethar is going to go ahead and peek into Eastern Palace. We lack both the big key and a bow, so we're definitely not completing the dungeon unless both of those things are here. You never know. Half Magic and Quake in Hookshot Cave. Nice finds. We don't know if Quake is useful yet, but perhaps that's the TR medallion. We'll check that right now. Yeah. It is the TR medallion. We have vanilla medallions today. Okay. Thinking about it. Thinking. Yeah. Interested in TR? Yeah. So here's a change in inverted. Here's how you get up here without having to here. You just do a little hop up the rail. Lord finds a green rupee in the. Is it the map or compass chest? I always forget what that one. The right side eastern chest. All right, we're gonna get a peek into TR finally. There are 3 things we can definitely get up top here. Actually, we have a key, so we can definitely get to the chain chomps chest as well. Thank you, Nobly Cat. I was like, is it the map or the compass? I think it's the map. I don't know, man. Big 20 in the compass chest of TR. The Telethar will also head over to the big key chest in Eastern, because why not? We just knock that out now. Pretty easy dark room to handle. And we'll get a peek at what's in the roller room here. Some hookshot iframes to get through the roller. We have a heart piece and a big 20. Well, nothing in the front of TR. You know, I can just death warp to the front. And Telethar will get a nice little damage boost with the switch and get a blue boomerang. The value. Neither runner coming up with anything really cool from their dungeon dives here, unfortunately. But given more keys to TR, we could see potentially more access. What would be really mean is a mirror on Laser Bridge, and then you're basically doing a normal trip through TR at that point. Yeah, Dex opted not to use that small key to go to Chomps. I'd imagine he might be trying to save that key for later. One TR small, you definitely could just uh, and once you have the mirror later on, you can just mirror to the bottom, go to laser bridge, and go straight to the boss room. Um, just be saving that for later, and just assuming I don't want to have to find more TR smalls. That might be the idea. Telethar has now done his Buckshot Cave, and that was a heart in Spike Cave. A little bit of thinking there, what to do next. Actually, this is Vex's first trip into Pod here, looks like, actually. Yeah, that is true. You with Mirror, if you're willing to put the time into it, you really only need one key to do all of TR, because you can walk through a couple of key doors in particular backwards, and not need a key for them. And really, the only one small key door you have to open at that point is the one that leads to the boss. It is a bit time consuming, but you definitely can do it. So Vex has count them, 5 pod smalls. If only he had a bow, he would be able to completely full clear this dungeon. Maybe we get lucky and there actually is a bow in here, and this will just turn into a clearable pod. We can only hope. Despite that bows are just normal progressive in here, we still have yet to see either of them. This guy his second bottle. I think he does not have a potion at current time, though. He used that one in the Ulster fight. I don't believe he's refilled it, so I don't think he has the ability to do potion camera unlock for the access to the right side. Ooh, there's our mirror in the pod big key chest. That's an interesting place for it. Well, that makes routing pod a lot nicer just by having that. We'll see if maybe he goes for a mimic clip here, or if he proves me wrong and he does have a potion to use. We'll see. I don't think he does. I think it's a mimic clip. Throw pots at the green ones so you can have to deal with them. And then we're gonna see how he does it. Is it buffered or unbuffered? What's his technique? Ooh. Doing it unbuffered. Getting a pretty good progress pretty fast here. It's not an easy series of inputs to pull off. You have to tap right on the D-pad, and then on the neck for only one frame, and then on the next frame, follow it with an up or down input to prevent the mimic from sliding out of the wall again. He's going to start buffering it. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, you can start pause buffering it. Because when the unbuffered method isn't quite working out for you on a given day, you can just start buffering your inputs. As long as you can, at that point, then what you're doing is you're wanting to push right, and then on the next frame, pause either your start or your select key to bring up either of the menus, and then out of the menu you hold up or down to preserve the mimic's place in the wall. It takes about 11 repetitions of this, I believe, to actually get it uh, in the wall enough that it slides out of the room. And yeah, correct. With the mirror now, we do have access to that. There's a small key, I believe, on Bumper Ledge. We can now finally know what that is. Almost got that mimic in. Making good progress now. I think it's like 2 or 3 more. I think it's 1 more here. Yep, it's sliding. All right, so you know you've succeeded when that mimic just kind of it's into the wall far enough that the game says, "Hey, this is a thing in collision. We're gonna push it backwards of the direction it's facing," and it just slides up out of the room. And once the mimic is off screen, the game's like, "Oh, there are no mimics on screen. I'll open the door for you." And that is a sword and a shovel on the bow side of pod. That pretty much knocks out our need for the acquiring the sword off of a lumberjack ledge. And we're going to have both these runners pretty much high-fiving in the back here. Telethar just slightly ahead of Vex. Telethar also has... I think actually they have the same number of pod smalls. I think they both have 5, because Telethar has spent 2. Yeah, they have the same number of pod smalls. Vex having some difficulties with the hard hat beetles. This red one is an absolute menace. Trying to do the super stairs trick. There you go. Nice launch. Nice stair launcher, we like to call it too. Okay, there's this case. So there's our last pod small in pod, as you do. It is basically required for pod to have 1 small key of its own in key sanity. And we also found a Bombos medallion in Dark Rupee basement. There is our swamp big key in Harmless Hellway. Not terribly exciting. That basically just unlocks 1 check in swamp whenever we have access to that later. Actually, we have access to that now. We have mirror, hook, shot, flippers, and hammer. We can do swamp whenever. We don't know what its prize is yet. We can do swamp whenever. Telethar is working on the dark maze now, navigating around all the rails and the fireballs, and finds the big key to Skull Woods. Well, that's also equally as exciting as the big key to Swamp. Again, just 1 check unlocked for that. And also a good point. Yeah, we do need the Swamp Small. I thought we had that already, but I think I'm seed bleeding from earlier. Don't mind me. Ooh, just 1 pixel off of the hammer jump. There you go. That looks correct. Very good one frame taps to get the lineups right there. You hold up as you get bomb boosted over, and you get to clip into the rail, no problem. Get the heart piece refill for his troubles. It's a good thing he's not trying to death warp out of here, because that would be really obnoxious getting a refill right there. We do have the mirror now, so that's not a concern. Now that it's not a concern, of course, the Kadondos are being very helpful in getting us some extra damage. I think they're both trying to get to the upper left chest right now. Or is Telethar trying to navigate out of Dark Maze? I'm not sure where Telethar is exactly. There's a heart in the upper left. Telethar's trying to... Looks like he's trying to exit. Yeah. Tel tried to death warp. Okay, I missed that. Oh, Tel hasn't picked up the mirror from Big Key Chest yet. Oh, okay. Yeah, there was a heart in the top, and the bottom was the big key. Yeah. So at this point, all we have left in pod to know is the boss, or what's on the boss, and we're still lacking a bow, so no access to Helmasar just yet. We need to do that later, because it has one of our crystals, but where the heck are the bows? Vex is going to immediately cash in that Skullwood's big key and see what it turns into. There's Telethar's mirror. It's pack of bombs, nothing doing. And Telethar's also going to do the right side here. Will not be displeased with what he gets from it. You can see the other method here. He has this red potion. So you use the potion while holding left, and do not touch right at any point. And you just kind of scoot up into the door, let the auto adjust push you through. And then you can just drag the mimics off screen. Same deal with the mimic. The game is just like, oh, I don't see any mimics on camera. I'll unlock the door for you. Looks like Vex is heading for K45. Oh, we saw K45 earlier. No, we should have at least. Yeah, we saw it earlier. He is headed for. The shovel check. That's right. We just got the shovel from the right side too. What's up? What's on here? Knocking out these fetch quests. Another bomb pack. Imagine that. Now we just have to get the. We'll see if the swamp or swamp big key turns into a bomb pack as well. We'll have this nice little trend of fetch quests just leading to nothing. All right, we'll get a grab on Smith though here. Yeah, that is not the right spot. You want a mirror below the house. Yeah, just to the left of the door. Teltar's looking at that small key there. Has now spotted it. Third time's the charm on the mirror here. Yep, there you go. Pretty specific positioning, but we'll see what the Smith turns into in a moment here. We have traded our mushrooms. We don't have the ability to do anything with Magic Bat just yet. Let's have just a compass of mire, not particularly helpful. Well, Telethar is climbing Paradox. I wonder if he is also headed to potentially do. He already did TR stuff. What's he doing up here? Oh, he's probably. Oh, he's more TR actually. We have a mirror now. He is interested in going straight to Laser Bridge. Good call. And Herapeg says a map. We'll take that. See what it is. Oh, good info, hopefully. Swamp Palace. We don't have that one yet. That's a good one. Immediate map check. It's a crystal. That gives us our 7 objective dungeons there. We're doing the laser skips. Finds a heart in that third chest. I missed the first 2 because I was interested in the map. And another heart in the 4th chest. According to our notes page, we've got a bottle on Laser Bridge. Okay. And of course, we do have the big key, and Telethar has all the equipment needed to go ahead and deal with the Trinix. Half magic with really not too bad here. Actually, this should be a relatively safe fight. Only Master Sword, but you can just flip the hammer and go ahead and knock out like you have Tempered Sword. Hammer's hitbox is a little shorter to deal with, and it takes a little time to menu, but you can have the fight be much more consistent that way. Now we'll get a finally look at that small key on Bumper Ledge. It's been taunting us for a bit. I bet it's a Mire Small. Nah, the other Ice Small. We've already cleared that dungeon too. All right, whatever. It was going to be either the Ice Small, where we don't need that anymore, or like a Mire Small, which you really don't need any of those. One Mire key is nice to have, so you can route the dungeon faster, but yeah, it's not necessary at all for any runner who knows how to route Mire. And Telethar knocks out phase 2 of Trinex in 5 easy hammer hits, and we'll get a moment of exploding, and then we'll get a prize. Big 20. Next is up to pick up the purple chest. Drag that over here, and we'll see if that has anything cool in it. Neat TR routing here, actually, because of killing the boss, putting you out on top. You do have the option then of getting back into the light world, and I guess you need mitts for that. Actually, never mind. With mitts, you could do that. Telethar is going to have to go back over to the right to do it again if you want to drop it in the rest of TR. With Mitts, you can just use the portal on top of Turtle Rock and then mirror into the right side for the big chest. Castle map, man. All right, well, I mean, we're already at the point where maps are not useful at all, but then that one's just the castle map, which is the least, the two of the least useful maps. I believe Telethar is 3 bottles, yeah. We'll mirror off of Mimic's Ledge to the right entrance of TR, pick up the big chest, and clean up the rest of the middle. Blue Rupee to start with. And you'll see why we only really need one small key to clean up the dungeon in a moment here. Once we walk backwards to the door in a chain chomp room and it's just locked. You can just walk backwards through it, no problem. Nice job of getting the pokey key. Get a look at the lava chest item. This chest, I believe, is still 4 key lock. So if there was something interesting there, it would be logically behind all 4 TR smalls. But no, nothing interesting there. Taking this route, you get a nice full magic refill on your way through. And Vex Ops will just drop into the left entrance. Interesting, because like you have the big key. Could have just gone for the right side, but okay. Oh, there's our swamp small and chain chomps. Now we can do Swamp Palace. Telethar will mirror back to the right entrance and go ahead and bonk into Crystal Roller to get our last check in TR. Ooh, there's our first bow in Crystal Roller. Okay. All right, decision time. Yeah, where are you going to go next? At this point, you could do an Eastern Pod cleanup visit, or you could go to Swamp Palace with your newly found Swamp Small. Looks like he's going to opt for the Swamp play. I like this. Swamp has a bunch of items in it, 10 in particular, because it's really good play, honestly. It's a really dense dungeon. Goes up to 10, enforcing key sanity. Not like a huge upgrade compared to other dungeons, but it's still 10 items in here. X is right behind Telethar getting that Swamp Small. Mirror out. Then you can just hop back through here and go to... He just goes to the right side. That's fine. I mean, I think he just mirrored to the right side, whatever, but hey, however you want to do it. Lamp, technically. I mean, whatever. If we even find the lamp, who knows? It's somewhere. Yeah, at this point, let's see. Yeah, we have the big keys for we have the big key for Pod. We know that Eastern's a pendant, so we don't need that one. We haven't seen GT big yet, and yeah, GT and Thieves bigs are the two things we're really just missing at this point. We don't need Desert Access either. That's also a pendant. Ooh, he did not know what a Crystal Roller. That is going to be unfortunate. Yeah, so that's that's just kind of a change for inverted. They changed the graphic for the portal, the mirror portal. It's just a yeah, ISR looking thing. Yeah, it looks like Vex realized it right away. He's going back in for it. Please go back in for it. Please. What are you doing? Or not. Okay. I don't know what Vex is up to now. We're going to watch Telethar and get some information from Swamp. Telethar being in a go -2 situation here, we could see just a complete full clear of Swamp in one visit. Might not skip left side. They go for Laser Bridge now. You have to center yourself on this ledge here when you mirror to it, yeah. Yeah, if Telethar goes straight for left side, yeah, this is probably the good play to make here. Go ahead and spend the least amount of time in the dungeon possible, and you're probably going to check everything anyway. Set up the dive, of course. Neat trick that we like to do in Swamp, save some time. We'll hop over the rail, nice and easy, and we're under the water. The water's not real. The water is only real where at the tiles that are immediately by the stairs. Oh, he's going to go backwards across the roller. Okay, this works too. Yeah. I mean, it's slower, but it works. So the nice thing about that room is if you're going backwards through it, you can just hold up. It is the easy strategy. It is also the optimal strategy to get through it. Extra mirror. Extra mirror. Please mirror. Okay. Don't spend your key, please. Okay, that was close. I did not want to see him touch that door and then suddenly be out the small key to go deal with the boss. That would have been tragic. Okay, and we got from the left side of Swamp a Skullwoods key, not that exciting, and the Key to Burna. We already have an invulnerability item, so we're not worried about logic for anything invulnerability-wise, and we've already seen what Spike Cave was, so not particularly exciting. Well, Big Chest has a nice heart for us. Up to 16 hearts on Telethar's side. Really healthy here. And we'll go ahead and dive again in the flooded room. Small key to Mire. Yep, there's a Mire small for you in the flooded room. We don't necessarily need to go into Mire's dependent dungeon. We hope we don't have to use that. There's our lamp in the waterfall room. And Vex has knocked out the Trinex phase 2. Again, just 5 nice clean hammer hits. Gets his big 20. Until they'll be getting into the Argus fight here. Not the most ideal Argus fight, only having Master Sword, but we'll make do. As long as you're good with your double pulls, it should be not too bad. Okay, continuing to put crystals on the board. At this point, we're getting down to wondering where the Thieves Town big key is. That's going to be the real kind of, I guess, looking like it's going to turn into the Ice Rod Hunt of the Sea. Like, where's that going to end up being? So we're running out of like objective dungeon checks to do. We're going to have to start dipping pendants at some point. Very nice one cycle in phase 2 there. Yeah, of course the GT big too, but as far as getting the crystals, I'm more immediately worried about where's the Thieves big. For all we know, the GT big's just in G2. Despite the fact that it doesn't have to be there, it's probably just there anyway. We have a book. Oh, we got a book. What's the book? The book in Swamp? I missed that. Oh, it was on Argus. I looked away for like a few seconds and missed the book. Okay, cool. There it is. All right, so clear Swamp, and you've got the book, and you're like, well, this is as close as you're ever going to be to going to desert. You may as well just go get Bombo's tablet and then straight into the desert. Why not? I mean, well, Vex has decided it's time to go clean up Pod. having that bow now, you can go ahead and get the Helmsar done, get the prize, figure out what that is. Perhaps see if you want to do Eastern while you're over there. I don't know if he mirrored in. I don't think he did. But yeah, an Eastern dip. I don't think. I think Vex has been to the Eastern area. I think only Telethor has so far. We're gonna get a peek into Pendant Desert. 6 items in here. We do have both of the keys, so it is fully accessible. Next it's Saha, but not Eastern. Okay. Small or big key to Eastern Palace. Interesting. A big key to a pendant dungeon that you've already dipped into mostly. And the second glove in the big key chest of Desert Palace. Not as useful as it is in open. That glove, it's nice, but you don't need it as much. The only check that the mid card locks in inverted is King's Tomb. Small key to Thieves Town. Okay, well, when we have the big key, I guess we can check the big chest. Yeah, small key to Thieves in the map chest in Desert. There's a torch or a map on the torch, not a torch on the map. Other way around. That is the pod map, which I guess a Telethar does not currently know, so that's good information for him. Well, Vex is hammering away at the Helmsar. 17 hits of the mask will knock it off, and then 4 more hits to the gem will take down this boss. Not a problem. Telethar gets a 10 pack of arrows from the Desert Big Chest. Telethar has a key! A small key to Meyer. Oh, yeah. Okay. And what's the small key on Desert Ledge? Is it the third Meyer small? Nope. TR small. Okay. Well, we're done with those already. Thanks, game. All right, so Desert currently 5 out of 6. We just got 1 more to get, and that's going to be on the Landmos. See where Vex goes next here. Vex might be making a swamp play here. Floated to 7, but decides to, run up the portal. Pretty reasonable at this point, yeah. It is an objective dungeon, and you have a whopping 10 checks to acquire there. May as well. Yeah, Vex. Vex does have the red crystals, doesn't he? Yeah, we could see that at some point here. We have Telethar getting into the Landmolus fight. Half Magic Fire Rod should make this very quick. Ooh, a little bit off. Missed the one shot. That kind of threw off the rhythm. Yeah. We'll take a 2 cycle. It's okay. And a bomb pack. Well, look at that. And a blue pendant for our troubles. So we at this point we are starting to collect pendants. We haven't seen what's on Ped. We've only very recently had the book. We don't know if there's a required big key on there, but entirely possible. We now have access, of course, to Clear Eastern Palace. We know that's a pendant. The dungeon we don't have access to, however, is Meyer. So right now we're not really thinking about what's on Ped because we haven't even seen the Ether Medallion. Once that Ether pops up, though, if and when it does, we can then say, all right, well, maybe now it's time to go to Meyer. Meyer does have 8 checks in it, so once you've got that medallion, it's a decent call to make. Not a terrible pendant dungeon to dive. It's relatively dense in terms of the amount of time you spend in it. I was cleaning up Skull Woods here, getting that bomb from the big chest, and now also going to the back to get the actual boss kill. Yeah. Vex making the same decisions here, going for straight to the left side of swamp. Still again, go -2, missing a couple of big keys. You'd also like to come across a third sword. You'd like to not have to think about where's the last sword in the seed. You want to feel like you skipped it because we know there's one on lumberjack that you're never getting at this rate. So hopefully that third sword pops up for us sometime soon, or at least at some point before we're climbing GT without it. Of course, having another fight with Moth here, much more healthy this time. Really should not be a problem. Yeah, there you go. Just literally bully Moth, no problem. I got a question chat asking about the qualifier number 15. That is starting in 24 minutes on the hour, and it is being restreamed on Speed Gaming Prime. Speed Gaming with no numbers on it, main channel. I'm not sure whether the second stream on ALTTP Randomizer is active. I don't know if they have a restreamer for it and comms and all that, but at the very least, Speed Gaming, the main channel, will have the one restream for the call. Yeah, I think they were having trouble getting a restream in particular for the randomizer channel. Just one stream today. Anyone that's getting into the qualifier soon, good luck. There are only 4 of those left, including this race that's about to start. 18 qualifiers this year as opposed to 16. I believe the last of those is coming up on this Sunday, so we'll be out of the qualifiers quite soon, and we will know who our get to actually knowing who our qualified players are shortly thereafter. Telethar is now getting back into pod to clean up this dungeon, and Vex is now in the back of Swamp about to pick up his lamp from the waterfall. Yep, there's some more cleanup here. What's the next play after these guys are running out of stuff to do? I feel like back of Eastern, we've got 2 items left in Eastern that we haven't seen in the big chest, and then of course on the Chronos Knights. That could be our next option. We're kind of just collecting pendants at this rate because we're running pretty thin on checks. Ether Tablet is also available. That's kind of a tough call to make, though. There's really not much left on the mountain. I don't know if Telethar did Spike Cave, but I think Vex is down to literally just the Ether Tablet on the mountain. So you really hate to have to climb for that, especially in inverted, because it's a long trip to get to that Ether Tablet now. Yeah, they both did the front of Thieves Town early. Yeah, they've both had those 4 checks knocked out. And Vex is taking down his Argus, gets his book. Very wet book. I don't know if it's going to be very good at this point, but we have it. And that is now 6 crystals to his name. We just need that Thieves' Big Key to get the 7th. And Telethar's gonna be right behind him, once he's got the Helma down here. They also have 6. So these 2 have pretty much tied it up in terms of their crystal counts. There's that Mire Small. You're thinking, man, I wish I could go into Mire and use that because you'd like to see what's in that dungeon. There are 8 items there. But no, we're still missing that Ether Medallion. Our vanilla medallion entries for Mire and TR today. That particular coin is proving elusive. Yeah, Vex has now got his book off of Argus, so he's going to make that same trip into Desert as Telethar did a little bit ago. And Telethar will be giving us new information here now. The 2 checks left in Eastern, blocked by the big key, which we had to find in Desert. So quite the chain of items we had to get through here. Oh yeah, and the big bomb. Vex has opted to play for density. Understandable, honestly. There are 7 items to get with the book over here, as opposed to 2 from the big bomb that opens Pyramid Fairy. Yep, there's that Eastern big key. All right, Telethor, what do we have in the Eastern big chest? And if it's a Thieves' big key, do you bail immediately? Oh, that's a small key to Ganos Tower. All right, well, we'll go kill Armos. Probably kill Armos anyway, actually. Unless you're feeling like you really want to make a race gamble. Vex has his Thieves small now. He'll see that map on the torch and be like, nah, we're good. I have all my info. This is 10 pack of arrows from the big chest. And then we'll go ahead and scoot on out and get the boss taken care of. Kelthar sets up for the Armos quick kill, and looks like he's got it no problem. Yep, very clean. Oh, that's a big key. Is it GT? Oh, it's Thieves' Egg. It's in Eastern. All right. So assuming that Pyramid Fairy doesn't ever looking for, Telethar is now on the right track, because we're going to head to Thieves next and get the 4 items in the back. So we've required to kill at least one of our pendant bosses for necessary progression. It'll be terrible though if all we find back here is the Quake medallion. Then we have to go dig mire. You're really at this point, you really just want to see the GT big, so you can just go. Alternately, we could see, if the Quake medallion pops up, or the Quake medallion could be as late as like in GT actually. That you don't find the big key, and you're like, man, I don't want to. That kind of sucks. I have to leave and come back. For key sanity can do that, but ideally, we just find the GT big, like in Thieves or something, and then we just get to go. We'll see. Vex has taken down his Lamos. Got a whole lot of nada for that. And now we're going to see him probably head into... What are you doing? Indecision? Quick swapping? Yeah. No, you're done with Desert. You got all 6. Yeah, you're good. I think Vex realized he hadn't actually looked at the medallion for this. Yeah, you don't have Ether. I think earlier he tried to look at it, but didn't quite make the check. It didn't look like he got it earlier, so... Alright, Telethar is working on Thieves Town here. Still has 3 checks left to get. And now Vex is on the right track heading to clear up Eastern. Or, nope, not going to Eastern. Okay. Where are you going? What's left over here? Telethor's got the Maiden. We're going to get a little dash over to the... Oh, this is Bomb. Okay, this is Pyramid Fairy. Got it. All right, and just a compass in the Thief big chest. It's like the 3rd time I forgot about the Pyramid Fairy. I'll get it eventually. Nice thing about doing this in invert is you can just walk straight up the bridge here and mirror once you're right about here. Yep, that works right in front of the blue guards. And there we are. All right, moment of truth. Is Pyramid Fairy a necessary check? 10 arrows and a map. Nope, not here. Dang. Also not the ether medallion, so that's it's honestly kind of a good news check. You didn't find the opening for Meyer, so you're not worried about it yet. And blind just has a small key to Turtle Rock. Well, that's the last of the TR smalls that we definitely don't need at this point. Telethar now has 7 crystals, so it is time to get into inverted GT and just hope that the big key's in it. And inverted, of course, the Aghanim's Tower and Ganon's Tower have swapped places. So you'll need to get to the castle wall and open the door. Oh yeah, King's Tomb. We do have the mitts. That's true. Forgot about King's Tomb as well. That's a small key to Turtle Rock. Oh, that's the last TR small. Okay. Well, all right then. Telethar is going to knock out some extra checks here before committing to GT. Yeah, understandable. See what this shovel has. Vex is making his way back to town. Looks like a check for, oh, Magic Bat, because we have powder now. Yeah, okay. Where did powder come from? I actually missed that completely. Look at the trackers and be like, they both have powder, and I did not see it on either of them. Oh, that was the first check of swamp. Okay, well, I missed that completely. Yeah, it is so easy to miss things when you're paying attention to 2 streams and you're watching one of them do stuff, and the other one just like, in both cases, they both get a chest that you just never saw. Yeah. Tell them you're a little bit too far up. All right, Vex, going to 5. Back to the Light World. Telethar is going to get the news that Pyramid Fairy is a whole lot of nothing. We already know what Myra's prize is. Get out of here. Vex is now on the right track, going up to Eastern, making the correct play. We know he needs to do it. Telethar is now going to head into Castle. We are at this point assuming that the GT Big is in GT, and this is just the correct play to make. I mean, GT does have a lot of items in it. There are 22 checks to make in the basement. 23 if you have the big key, but if you have the big key, then you're not really interested in going to the big chest. You're going straight up. So, just like usual, we'll figure out like which check in GT has the key. It could also be the Quake Medallion. So, you know, the Quake Medallion could just take us to Meyer, and that's where the big key is. We will have to find out. Big 20 on the torch, so we will be not destroying Bob today. If you're a Bob fan, it's a good day for you. Yeah, Vex, of course, has not been into Ooh, there's the Ether Medallion. Oh, no. Ooh, there's the last sword. All right, so we got the 3rd sword, too. That's cool. It's not hiding somewhere inaccessible, or relatively inaccessible. Yeah, like I was saying, Vex, of course, has not been to Eastern, so he has to clear the entire dungeon and then find out that your progression is actually just on the boss, the last thing you would do. Ooh, it's in Fire Snake. Wow, okay. Not only is it in GT and Key Sanity, but it's in Fire Snake, which I feel like is one of the least common locations for the GTBK. Every time I watch that, it's just like, oh, it's never in Fire Snake, but there it is. Okay. All right, and that is Telethar in about 148 and about 15 seconds. Actual, honest to God, go mode. We can go up the tower now and just finish the game. The Ether Medallion giving us a momentary scare of thinking, oh, what if you got to go to Mire? But oh, just a little bit of momentary thought of being debated. Nope, we're good. We don't need that Mire at all. We are good to climb the tower. So we're going to get into Gauntlet here. Pretty well equipped for Gauntlet here. We got a Tempered Sword, half magic. Plenty of arrows to fire at these Stalfos and whatnot. Telethar showing off. Good way to start Gauntlet 1. You just immediately move left and shoot that first Stalfos with an arrow. You can also use the Fire Rod to great effect because it does immediately destroy Stalfos when it hits them instead of having to wait for them to burn. Very good Gauntlet 4 RNG there. Sometimes the other red can move in a weird way. And very good Gauntlet. That's a very good Gauntlet on Telethar's side, actually. That's basically how you like it to go. Extremely smooth. And Vex pulls off a textbook Armos quick kill. Ooh, got short hopped to the left by the first Landmo. Very rude. Spins for the other two to conserve some magic. Vex now has his Thieves' Big Key, so he can get back on track with cleaning up that dungeon. Got the. It's always nice to see when the prize pack for Wizrobes and what are they called? The other dudes, the red and blue dudes. Whose name I'm blanking on currently. I feel like a dumb. Is the Super Value prize pack, so you can get like magic refills and fairies and stuff on the way through Gauntlet. It's really nice. Zazax, yeah. Oh man, I forget names of things all the time. Thanks, Beer. I would have gotten there eventually, hopefully, maybe. All right, we're pretty good on stuff. You could possibly see like a second bow up here, but that's about the only thing you could really come across that would help at this point. And Telethar is good with what they've got currently. Now we'll check this one. Now look at GT small on the climb. Weird. Ooh, got bopped off by the Moldorm. I was about to say a slash and a spin will do it, but Moldorm wants to give us a little bit of problems here. We'll try it again. One slash and one spin. There you go. Is the relative 6 damage needed to take down the Moldorm. What's our last check? Big 20. That's vanilla. Okay, and Telethar is going to be getting into the Aghanim 2 fight here. We'll see what kind of patterns we get for Aganometry. Is this even random? A nice double for the first cycle. Yeah, nice triple double. Very good. 2 and 2 and 2. Basically can't ask for better from Aga 2. Sometimes the patterns are awful and you really don't get that many opportunities. And he throws a lot more blue balls than usual, so just works out nicely this time. Vex is getting into his blind fight. He's on script so far at 3 hits. We didn't really talk about the blind script earlier because Telethar did a long time ago. Well, not a long time ago. We were watching Vex at the time, but that is a perfectly scripted blind. 9 hits, easy as you do. And Telethar's now dropping into Ganon. He's got bug facts today. Gets the spin against the Trident. And looks like we're on track for 1-1. Yep, we got there. Into phase 2. Staying inside the ring, getting little dash hits. Those are trickier than they look to pull off. You have to have pretty precise movement control to get those dash hits in. And that is an excellent 1-1 on Telethar's side, already to phase 3. Again, is being actually really kind with the teleports as well. No bonus teleports? Is it the dream? Oh, I had to say it. You got 1, 2, 3. Okay, all right. Again, that's enough. Thank you. Right, Vex has also gotten his 7th crystal. He's on the way over to GT now, making the correct call that just go in there and find the key. Delthar does get torch glitch. Oh, got an early swing there. Silverless Ganon, of course, you got to get. There's a 3-frame window after Ganon throws the fire bat before he teleports, which he is vulnerable, and it will take 12 tempered spins to take down Ganon without having the silver arrows. If you're looking closely at his animation, you can see he raises his arms for 3 frames, and that is the 3-frame window in which you can actually damage him. You don't have to do it with a spin. You can actually get a slash in if your timing is good, but it's very easy to do with sword spins because they last longer than that 3-frame window. And that is Ganon down on Telethar's side. Get your GGs in chat. We're going to get a official time here in just a moment. Find my race room. Where the heck is it? And that is Telethar done with an official time on racetime.gg of 1 hour, 55 minutes, and 19 seconds, which in this here race room is good enough for 3rd place out of 7. Our first place time was Matt7898, who clocked in a 147.30, followed by Dataplet with a 151.46. This one definitely had some opportunities to kind of lead you astray with some of the items you got. Like the desert dive in particular, just like you really, I mean, you could take the Eastern Big Key and bail out of there and make a choice, but it's hard to not clear desert all the way when you're there because you're just, where could the keys be? Vex has gone straight left here, so you'll be also pleased to find that key entirely. It's good that they both went straight left, actually, because you could go right and run into taking extra time in the right side and not finding much over there. There's your big keen fire snake. Oh look, it's the big key to this dungeon. How about that? Time to climb. Yeah, the big things we don't get in the US release are stuff like the super speed and I forget if fake flipper works. I want to say fake flipper doesn't work, but I might be wrong on that one. And the block mirror delete. Yeah, we miss out on a bunch of cool things that we get to do in the JP 1.0 ROM, which is just like, it's why we run this version of the game, because you get so many cool tricks that just aren't possible in the later releases. That 8, yeah, so you got 1 on the torch, 2 through 5 is in the room there, 6 on map, no, 7. 7. And we're joined in the race room here, or the commentary room, by Telethar. GG's to you.
GG's.
My first question was that Meyer medallion, or the Ether medallion, scary when you found it? You're thinking, oh no, I don't want this.
Well, I was thinking I might just leave and follow that immediately because I thought I was behind.
Ooh.
Pretty poorly. I'm glad I didn't just dip, but
yeah, I was one of my wonders. Like, all right, if the Ether medallion pops up early, I'm like, what do you just bail out immediately and think, all right, we'll go for it? But yeah, it's a good thing that neither of you did that.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I think I played pretty poorly on this. A lot of boss deaths.
Yeah, the cold stare one was and it was so close to it. It was just like that the motion the first time was just like, oh, that puff just had it out for you, unfortunately.
Yeah.
The moth was really close too. It was really pulling for you on that moth fight. Like, you had to have had only like 1 or 2 left. It was so close.
Yeah, and then I halfway through running to Moth, I had to realize that the answer wasn't going to be there regardless because it's not in logic.
Yeah.
And then I was like, well, I guess I'll try this anyway. And then once I died, I just went to my last location.
Yeah, because like at that point, like you may as well try for Moth while you're there. I don't know if you knew that if you had the dungeon info at that point, but yeah.
I think I did, but I don't remember. Either way,
It's possible,
it wasn't
yeah.
in logic either way, so it didn't matter. It wasn't my answer.
Yeah, we didn't come up with the last Skullwoods key until pretty late, actually.
Mm-hmm. It was a fun seed. I think all the mistakes are just my own, so.
Yeah, this one's kind of... You end up having to kind of do most of the game, which is, I know, that's just keys things. Desert was... You mean, like, clearing desert was, like, kind of the big thing you have to do, but it's hard to not clear desert while you're there, really, because you have no idea where the GT big key is going to be, so...
Yeah, you got a nice pair of mitts, which were literally never used.
Yeah. I think we saw... Vex checked King's Tomb and saw there was like a TR small in there, yeah. So technically, probably needed for. I don't think that's even needed, but
I mean, logically, I think TR still needs all 4.
Oh yeah, because there's the boss. There's a small key for the boss. Yeah, true. It wants all 4 logically. Logically, you basically go everywhere in the seed. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's normal logically.
That's normal key sanity. Yeah, you know. Yeah, really not a bad play overall. Yeah, I think it was mostly just the boss deaths were unfortunate, but it felt like he did a pretty good job with the seed overall outside of those.
Yeah, not too upset about it.
Yeah, we'll take 3rd place. It's not bad.
Yeah.
Ooh, is that a triple? We might have had a triple there. It might have been simultaneous on those 2 hits there. That was a double. Dang. Okay. If you could stagger those first 2 hits there, you could actually maybe squeeze in a double triple there, but we'll take 3 cycles. Vex will be dropping in again momentarily. How'd you like that sword on Lumberjack? Was that ever like a concern?
No. There was no world where I was gonna get 2 Agate Tower keys and need to climb for go mode.
Yeah.
Like if that did become my go mode, that wouldn't make me upset. Really, it's a pretty happy go mode to have, to be honest.
Yeah, because if that ends up being required, then you're like, well, I mean, everyone went through this pain, so it's not like you're at really like a disadvantage for having to get a second sword so late.
Yeah.
And then at that point, the seed's kind of funny because how often do you get like a required second sword on Lumberjack to proceed?
Yeah, I think it's happened before, but not many times before for sure.
Not terribly common, no. It's not like we had anything on either of the tablets, so that's basically your kind of main out of like your second sword locking something that you need to continue. Right, Vex is already into phase 3 here, having also a nice 1-1. Getting those few extra teleports for the last hit in phase 3. It's that like instant first hit you can get if you're prepared for it. Gets torch glitch just fine. Really good silverless rhythm here. I think he's about halfway through. And that's Ganon down for Vex Topher. Okay, GG's in chat. We'll get his official time also in just a moment once he's across the bridge. Find the race room here. I have too many tabs open. All right, and that is an official time on race time of 2:03:39 for Vex. Hitman 1382 snuck in a 157.34 between these two runners here. And that's Vex joining us in the booth. GG's to you as well.
GG's Vex.
All right, so same question here. First off, the ether medallion. Did you at any point consider like bailing out and going right for Meyer, or was just like, no, I'll just rather finish GT? Or was it a thought?
No, I didn't even think about it. Wait, does this mode not have GT Big Key in GT?
Nope.
No, it's not guaranteed.
Oh, really? Wow,
No,
I probably should have skipped the Thieves Town Big Chest.
Oh no.
I actually didn't even know. I was like, I think it is, but maybe it's not. I don't know. And then I just went. I was like, I guessed 50-50, right? It either is or isn't.
I didn't notice you skipping Thieves. I would have just called that a gamble at that point, I guess. But
no, I
yeah.
literally just did. I didn't even grab the key the first time. To remember, I just went through the door, so I didn't even have the small key. Like,
oh right.
I didn't grab the extra small key under the pot because I thought that it was in GT automatically. But
yeah, that's only in the open keys. Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
I mean, it worked out though. You just found it in Fire Snake.
I need to practice inverted. I think I got problems. Like.
It seemed like I had a few moments of indecision. You were like, "Wait, how do I do this certain thing? Where do I actually want to go?" Yeah.
It wasn't so much indecision as like I was like climbing up the mountain. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'll just jump down to TR, and then I was like, wait a minute, this isn't where I want to be. Like I need to be in. I was just gross. I think I mirror bonked like 6 times trying to pick up the Smith.
Yeah, the Smith was like the trio of bonks there. Yeah.
I don't know. I just need to work on my inverted a little more. I thought I was actually doing kind of okay at the beginning, and then like once I got the mirror and had like a bunch of random stuff to clean up because that Eastern Big Key was so terrible.
Yeah, being in the right side of desert, and the mirror was pretty late too overall.
So I don't know. Then I went and I was like, all right, I hope it's not an Eastern. And then I went and cleared everything else. And then I went to Eastern last, except for the mountain, the 2 checks on the mountain.
Yeah, except that point.
2 checks on the mountain?
I only didn't check Ether Tablet in the second chest of Castle Tower.
Oh, okay.
I checked everything else in the game except for the rest of GT right after because I went left.
Yeah, you both went straight left, which was the right call to make here. The third sword popped up, which was really nice, and then the keys and Fire Snake. So.
Yeah, I was really kind of like, I got half magic, and I was like, well, I mean, I guess. And I got the lamp, and I was like, I guess I can do a Master Sword Silverless Ganon, but I don't want to.
Yeah, you'd like to find the third sword ideally, and thankfully you're just on the path.
I did find the third sword. I mean, in the fourth sword, I guess.
you know, yeah. We know where the third sword was. Technically, like the first sword we saw, but yeah.
I considered doing it with the fire rat at one point. I thought about it.
Yeah. Thankfully, that wasn't necessary in any way. Yeah, that was inverted keys. We'll get to see more of that in the actual tournament proper once we're in the group stages. There'll be a nice mix of modes. Yeah, invert is definitely a tricky mode worth a lot of practice because it does a lot of unusual things that you're kind of not used to, especially with TR in particular. Like I was saying, like the right side or east mountain is like probably the trickiest part of inverted because you've got like extra drops you have to make for mimic ledge and stuff. And you got to think about, I can access every entrance of TR. And that changes your perception entirely of that dungeon. You don't need as many keys, and you can do everything in weird ways. So
yeah, it's pretty similar to cross keys for TR specifically. So.
Oh yeah. If you play entrance, like vertical cross keys players will be like, oh, they're right at home with this style of TR. Yeah.
The only thing that's horrible is the whole mountain itself. But
the whole mountain is bad. Like it just feels bad. I hate it.
Yeah, like to get spiral and mimic ledge, you have to basically do another climb through paradox, and you think, man, this sucks. It's really slow, but like everyone has to do that, so it just feels bad. Yeah.
When did you get boots?
When did I got boots just before. Boots were my second last location, I think.
Oh really?
In terms of I got boots, and then I was like, oh, and then I went to Moth, and I realized that Moth wasn't in Logic after dying to Moth. So I'm like, okay, the only thing in Logic is Bonk Rock. Or not Bonk. Hookshot.
Shot.
Bonk.
Yeah.
I think it was my second check. No, third. or fourth,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, you flew to two
flew-
really early and got the boots super early. Yeah.
Yeah, I went to Meyer Shed after doing the statue pull and starting at house.
Yeah.
And then I flew straight to 2. I wake up and I got boots off catfish. And I was like, wow. Actually, I accidentally flew to 2 and just decided to go catfish.
Like, I guess I'm here. I got the glove. May as well. Yeah, it paid out.
Nice. Yeah, no, I had done 4 checks in Ice Palace and all of 4 checks in Thieves Town and all of Village of Outcasts and.
Oh man, well at least you had a sword.
I did get a sword early, yeah.
I think I didn't get my first sword till like almost 40 minutes. I full cleared ice the first time in.
Mm.
Yeah, you do definitely have some different decisions, one dip into ice versus 2, but then let's see, what was the dungeon you traded that on? I think I think one of you only had 1 dip into Eastern as opposed to 2. Yeah, there was a lot of
Eastern,
partial dips. Yeah.
I just didn't plan on coming back. I was really hopeful.
Yeah.
Seed had other plans.
It really did. It asked a lot overall, but that's, I don't know, keys things. I'm kind of glad we had some early pointers towards looking like there could have been a really ugly go all the way down to Cold Stare for progression, but thankfully it didn't play that hard. It just gave you Dark World access not too long after that.
I was really happy. I was hoping, man. I wanted a 3-heart Cold Stare, 3-heart green mail Cold Stare required in Logic without a sword. Awesome.
I've been there. It's definitely an interesting time. I wouldn't say I want to do it again.
Well, I mean, in this seed specifically, right? We got Moon Pearl. I got Moon Pearl very early in Skullwood, so you can't do Cold Stare before Light World at that point.
Yeah, true. By the time you get Hammer, you already have Pearl. That's right. Yeah.
Hammer and Glove, you have access, and those are both required. But certainly, if you didn't have Pearl, you could have to do Cold Stare early, and then suffering can ensue.
Yeah.
All right. GG's. Thank you, everyone, for
GG's
casting and viewing and so on and so forth.
Yeah, GG's to both of you for putting on a good show for us. Thanks for being on Restream. Thank you also to our trackers, Artel and Maddie Walkherd, for keeping on top of all the keys and whatnot they have to keep track of in this. It has been fun commenting this race. We're probably sending you over to Speed Gaming Main to watch the qualifier race, which has started just 12 minutes ago. And we'll get to see what goes on over there. They're playing another round of just the open hard, modified hard pool. So you'll get to see a pretty different playstyle compared to this. We'll go check that out. But that's going to do it for us here today. Thanks for watching this race. And until next time, have a good one. We'll see you later.